Hello and welcome everybody to part 3 of the Serpent series, Sewing. Drafting without a pattern. What is drafting? Drafting is the process of creating a pattern by taking measurements from a person, form, or model in order to then create a foundation, which is a pattern used as the basis for the design. Today, I am going to go over some of the basics of creating your own pattern, and we will go step by step with you through designing a simple bell tunic. Why draft your own pattern? There are many different reasons to draft your own pattern. You have a specific idea, something that came up and you want to make it happen. You're going for something simple. There isn't a lot of pleats or darts, just a basic design. You want a challenge. You want to come up with your own thing and do it. You like designing. Coming up with the idea is just as important as making the thing. You don't have the means to buy a pattern. They're too expensive, you're nowhere near a store that sells them, and you don't want to buy anything online, because you never know how it's actually going to look when you get it. You have ADHD or other sensory issues. This one affects me a lot. There's just too much writing on the pattern paper. It's like learning a whole new skill every time you get a new pattern. And then there's the sensory issues. That paper is just loud and crinkly and thin, and I don't like working with it. What we will need. Paper. 8x11 paper is good. A roll of paper is best, or you can use a brown paper bag if you're in a pinch. Pencil. Scissors. Tape, a ruler or a yardstick, and a tape measure. A hot iron, medium-sized bowl, a loose-fitting t-shirt, and a large open space to work on. Do some research. The world is an old place. People have been around for a small portion of that. In those thousands of years, we have spent a great deal of time trying to hide our naughtiest of bits. Chances are, if you're looking into making something, someone else has already thought of it. Go on Google, throw in some keywords like basic, template, pattern, design, and you'll be able to see what other people have made. Take that info and build off of it. Try your best to recreate it and then make it yours. Do some sketches. Even if you aren't great at drawing, like myself, putting something down on paper will help you understand the piece better. You'll be able to understand where things go, how things attach, and what stuff looks like on a flat panel. Take your measurements. Use the tape measure and the sketches you just made to figure out what dimensions you need. Remember to leave yourself an allowance, at least ½ an inch all the way around. You can also use duct tape to make a pattern. I will actually put a link right here where you can follow. Somebody else has already done the work on that. I like this one. I've actually used this before to make my own mannequin. Now it's time to take it to the paper. You can iron paper if it's from a roll. You can also uncrease paper this way. Use the last 2 steps as reference. Use the edge of your paper as the center of your tunic, as your tunic will have 4 parts, front left and right, and back left and right. It's easier to use one of these 4 panels per sheet of paper. When you're drawing, remember to slope your shoulders. Most people don't have a flat, wide shoulder, and there is a little bit of dip to it. When drawing curves, pivot your wrist or your shoulder to give a nice, smooth line. Let's go bowling. I like to use a medium-sized bowl to create my neck hole. Remember when you're doing this to offset it a little bit so that more of the bowl hole is at the front of your tunic. Once you're to the point of your armholes, you're going to make sure to use a tape measure and measure all the way around the armhole so that when you design your sleeve, you will have the same amount of fabric to sew together. Where to go from here? Try it out on cheap, lightweight fabric with a very loose stitch to see if your calculations were correct. Make any alterations needed. Save your pattern for later. Even if you never use this one again, it's a good reference or starting point for a future project. Design your applique or embellishments at this stage. Feel free to draw right onto the paper. That way you know it's the correct size. Thank you again, everybody, for coming out to my Serpent series Part 3, Sewing, Drafting Without a Pattern. Make sure to come back and check out our next video, which will be about Bardics again. Thank you. See you next time.